Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now this thing is recording at a volume that's reasonable. Woo. This is the 14th episode of Shooting the Shit. We originally had another episode planned, but it got interrupted. And what an interruption it was. I bet you'd love to hear all about it, wouldn't they, Pena?
Yeah, they definitely would.
So, today, we've been going to talk about something really different. So, I have here Pena, my normal partner in crime and co-host.
Yeah.
And appearing once again is my lovely girlfriend, Kylie.
Hi.
Amy, you speak louder for that.
Ah!
Okay, that's... okay. So both of these people are Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
Read books, watched movies, the works as children.
Yeah. I own a $40 wand.
Do you really?
Yes, that I bought at Universal.
Whose wand?
Fleur de la Cour.
Oh, you have Fleur de la Cour's wand.
Yes, I have Fleur de la Cour.
I know what that
wand.
means now. Yeah. If you would have said that to me like last week, that would have meant nothing to me.
It still doesn't mean much.
Yeah. Do you have a one?
Mm-mm.
Do you have to take a personality test to get one? Like, do they? Or
No, you have to like go to the park and literally buy a wand. Like I have the physical wand.
Oh, okay. But I know that. But I'm saying like, did you have to like maybe like take
Well,
a
if
test?
you do it on Pottermore, you can take a test to see what your wand would be like. And they will give you like a generated like 10-inch alderwood unicorn tail feather wand or whatever, and then you can. I don't think unicorns have tail feathers. Not the point.
They have like hair.
Yeah, tail hair or whatever.
It's hair of the unicorn.
Yeah, and then like if you want, there are multiple like websites or Etsy shops who will custom make you one according to what your Pottermore results are. But that costs like a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what you do is that you go to a trip all the way to fucking Universal Studios in Florida, and then you just buy someone else's one.
Okay, that works. My point being is that these two are like longtime Harry Potter fans. I didn't read books as a kid. I only really like when I was told to by school that I read books. The only books I ever read of my own volition is I've read the Captain Underpants books.
Which, as a kid, even I thought were too immature.
I mean, whatever, man. The point is I wasn't much for books. And I didn't really follow the Harry Potter movies. I didn't follow the books that well, and I didn't care. But my girlfriend here had them all. I thought it's about time I caught up to cultural shit. And Harry Potter. Yes, and there's nothing more culturally influential to like young media these days than Harry Potter, because everybody wants that big Harry Potter, you know.
Yeah.
And there really hasn't been an equivalent since then. I mean, you could argue the Hunger Games came the closest, but the Hunger Games hasn't built a fucking institution quite like Harry Potter. There's no Hunger Games section at Universal Studios.
That would be so much fun.
Lord of the Rings came before, didn't they?
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings first.
But I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about impact on culture, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Well,
we're saying that, like, after Harry Potter.
Coming after Harry Potter?
There really isn't a, like, series that has taken off the same way it has.
Yeah,
I guess
right.
not even, I guess maybe Marvel, but, like, Marvel wasn't, like, it started as something small.
Yeah.
It's like, it was always big.
Mm-hmm. So there hasn't been, like,
Marvel also technically started in the 1960s.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the MCU, I guess so.
But
yeah,
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, nothing else quite exists like Harry Potter as an institution. So I figured I might as well catch up. So as of now, I've seen 1 through 4, years 1 through 4 of Harry Potter, and we're just going to talk about it because it's all one cohesive story.
Yeah.
So we're just going to spend time doing that. We'll go in sequential order. First thing I saw, Sorcerer's Stone, starting it. First thing you notice immediately kind of in the movies is like how colorful it is.
Yeah.
And how silly everything looks. Because this was a time before, I don't know, like, Lord of the Rings came out first. And, like, it was a huge budget thing. And it also didn't take place, like, in contemporary times. Mm-hmm. So seeing Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Hagrid just walking down the streets of London, it was, like, it was silly. You know? Like, what are you looking at?
I'm not looking at anything.
You just got hypnotized by the soundtrack.
I mean, no.
Yeah, you did.
I did not. I don't know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
you did.
I like watching the little things.
Second thing you notice, I actually love the Dursleys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I get like probably in the book their shit comes off significantly more abusive, and I'm sure in the books they're worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're worse. But like in the movies, they're actually quite lovable. I love what's the guy's name? The dad?
Vernon Dursley.
Vernon Dursley. He's silly. That guy like has these facial expressions to a T. He's all like, "There's no such thing as magic," and like,
yeah, they're like comically evil.
yeah,
Like 36 presents. Last year I got 37.
we'll go and we'll get you 2 more on the way to the thing. And they're just like comically, hilariously like abusive, and like, and I like it. I think they're funny.
Oh yeah.
I even like that part where like because they started sending all the Hogwarts letters.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know if restricting a person's mail is illegal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's magic mail though, so it's not the same.
Yeah, you don't think it's under the Constitution of England?
And does it count as stealing mail? Because I know stealing someone's mail is illegal.
Yeah.
But if it's going to your household.
But if you're withholding mail from the man that it belongs to.
But
like,
if that person is a minor.
I'm sure if Harry Potter was gonna report anything to the police, it wouldn't be the mail.
Like, they beat me and they kept me in a broom cupboard, but, like, they took my mail, man. That's the last straw.
I like, it took, like honestly, I like how, like, sending the barrage of letters happened before Hagrid showed up.
Yeah.
Like, because it's kind of like, that seems like a really extreme use of magic. That'd be hard to explain to a neighbor. When Hagrid could have just showed up. Because, like, Hagrid's tall. But other than that, he's a pretty nondescript dude. I mean, nondescript's the wrong word, but he's a dude.
Hagrid's gonna go and throw some hands, right?
Yeah, dude.
You don't fucking send Hagrid unless you've literally done everything you can.
I was just saying, like, it feels like Hagrid, like, could have just shown up and given it to him and it would have been fine. But, like, they literally sent thousands of letters to him, like, in a very clearly magical way when you're not supposed to do magic. In the fucking...
Dude, he's fucking Dumbledore. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He has established that, but we'll get there. So they had the iconic scene of, like, you're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
And it's actually funnier, like, in context. Like,
it's like, literally everything is funny. Like, even when he's, like, making the birthday cake out of sand.
oh, yeah. It's so, like, pathetically
like,
sad.
Yeah, like...
Don't make that face.
No, like, everything is so, like, over the top. Like, just the fact of, like, he's fucking garbage.
Yeah, like, make a wish, Harry. And then he blows on it and he goes away, and it's fucking sad. It's also funny. Like... I'm sure a lot of this stuff was sadder in the books when all you really had is your own like idea of tone.
Well, to be fair, most like for me, like again, I read the books as the movies were coming out, basically.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, like when we were growing up, all of the books weren't even finished yet.
Oh really?
Yeah. So like the last book came out. Yeah. So while they were making movies, the last book came out. And then it took a while for them to actually keep up to it, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's probably...
They were, like, on the 3rd movie when the last book came out.
Really?
3rd or 4th, something like that.
Actually, I think it was... Because I remember my parents... They got a burnt copy of Goblet of Fire. I feel like we've stopped doing that long enough that I can confidently say that.
Yeah. Well, you know, the fuck police gonna come to your house and shit.
Like, we have evidence that you burnt films. But yeah, my parents got a burnt copy of Goblet of Fire, and I remember it being news that the last book came out around that time.
Yeah, like I was like, fuck, what was that movie? The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
In that movie, Anne Hathaway is tasked with getting the unfinished copies of the newest Harry Potter book for the girls' children.
What?
Yeah.
Have you not seen The Devil Wears Prada?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Anne Hathaway is an intern for this, like, famous fashion person. And she runs, like, basically Vogue or Vanity Fair.
And that movie came out in our lifetime as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Iconic movie. Anyway, so Meryl Streep, the boss, is like, I need you to pick this up. And she's like, what is it? She's like, it's the unfinished final Harry Potter book. I need you to go get it from J.K. Rowling. My daughter wants to know what happens. She's just like, what the fuck?
That is hysterical.
So basically I feel like a lot of young kids growing up, especially, when we were reading it, we sort of had the movie with the books, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is that what... I mean, yeah.
At least for the first one.
Yeah, because you told me about how... So did you finish the book series and see the movies, or what happened with you?
I read up to book 3. And I think around the time of book 3 I was reading book 3 is when book 7 and movie 4 came out. So what happened is my parents heard from other parents that the 4th movie was gory and violent.
Which it's not.
And so they told me I had to stop watching the movies up through like this 3rd or 4th one. So I didn't see or read Harry Potter again, other than the first 2 books, until I was like 13. So I jumped and I started reading them when I was 6 or 7.
As of now, like the only movie that's had gore in it was Chamber of Secrets. Because they fucking stabbed a snake.
Yeah, but my parents weren't paying attention to that.
Yeah, and he got bit too.
He did. Like, there was actually blood in like, Chamber of Secrets.
He was about to die.
Goblet of Fire was surprisingly not violent, given all I've heard about it.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I remember, like, we'll get one just real quick. We're talking about all of it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway. Like, the scene where they had to, like, swim and get their friends from the bottom of the fucking thing. Yeah. That was a surprisingly really easy task. Because they went down there, grabbed them, and just swam right back up.
All you have to do... Yeah, really, Harry fucked it up and made it much more difficult for himself by trying to get more than one person.
Well,
they also never, because you say that they would have just died down there.
They spend a lot of the time in the book. I'm going to say this a bunch this podcast, so just get over it. They spend a lot of time building up to that task.
Yeah.
Like, there are tons of chapters in between him getting that egg, figuring out the clue, and then, like, going to the thing. And so there's all of this tension when, like, they find out that he finds out that his friends are underwater. It's like, well, they've said that people died in these things before. And the implication in the clue is that, like, you need to save them before, like, the stroke of noon or whatever, otherwise they stay down there forever, is what's written in the clue. So Harry's like, would they actually kill these people?
Yeah, that's something I thought about in the movie.
Because in the movie, because in the movie after they save Hermione's like, you fucking dumbass, like, you wouldn't have let him kill them.
Yeah, he's like, do you really think Dumbledore, who spent all this time keeping you guys alive, would just let you die for funsies?
I mean, they made.
But that's the great part about Harry being such like he's so easily influenced and like so easily like enamored, and this is just a trend throughout all of the books that like if you tell him your friends are gonna die, it doesn't matter how stupid it is, he'll be like, really? And he'll just like get to it.
Which is what he needs sometimes.
Yeah.
Because Harry's very quick to not do anything. Like, but
I'm gonna fucking kill him.
We'll get there.
I'm gonna kill him.
I will say before we get back to Sorcerer's Stone, there was this really weird lack of urgency in the scene where they have, because like what happens is like he by stupid coincidence figures out how to do the fucking test.
Not coincidence. Like,
I mean,
fucking...
at the time we thought it was stupid.
Okay, so here's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you think if he was a good enough swimmer, he could have just done that shit no matter?
I mean, it was pretty deep in.
Yeah, he was pretty far underwater and, like, had to swim like, they said they had an hour to do the task. So then nobody can hold their breath for an hour.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so, wow, that scene went by really quick for me.
I know.
Like, because also, like, you gotta, like, you look at the timeline of the movie in Goblet of Fire, like, what happened was that they were trying to figure out the clue. Fucking Harry, like, not actually, but at the time we knew, by accident, learned about the gillyweed, and then the very next scene is like a joke about how like, oh man, Neville fucking killed Harry, and then he does a little flip in the air and they swim down. Fucking Ron and Hermione are underwater dying, and we're never really told why or how.
Actually, the book is actually a lot funnier though. How he figures this out, because like he wakes up the day of, not figuring out shit. And then Dobby shows up like, yo, what, dude, fucking eat this shit. He's like, what? And he just fucking shoves it in his mouth.
Really?
Yeah, Dobby just shoves that shit in his mouth. He's like, he has no idea what it is. And, you know, like when the twist comes in the movie, like the dude was like, dude, I fucking placed that Neville there specifically so you could talk to him. And you still didn't fucking do it.
Yeah. What ended up happening is Dobby overheard Neville talking about it. Dobby stole the shit from Snape's cabinet and literally shoved it in Harry's mouth.
So like
the day of, the fucking shoved it.
So Harry's like a worse wizard in the books?
Oh yeah.
I think a big thing I like about Harry Potter as a whole is that they established that Harry is a very, very average wizard. And just by pure happenstance, through no fault of his own, through no actions of his own, he's been put as like this fucking famous wizard.
Yeah.
So he's just this average kid having to deal with all this shit.
Yeah, everybody's constantly like, "You're the chosen one," and he's like, "I'm just trying to pass my exams." Like,
I mean, it's pure like he throughout. I like how we're talking about Goblet of Fire right now. Well, it's because the most recent one I see anyway.
Yeah.
But like, he won that whole thing through nothing but like as far as what people saw on television, if it was filmed, I don't know. Like, as far as what actually happened, like ignoring all the backstage stuff, Harry won that whole cup off one spell. The fucking Axio or whatever you pronounce it.
Yes.
So he used that one spell throughout the entire fucking thing, and beat a bunch of wizards who were older and knew like a shit ton more.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know right now, he knows like 3 spells. Like he knows Axio. Accio is that Patronus. And Exempia, what?
Expelliarmus.
He knows Wingardium Leviosa.
We don't know that. We haven't seen him do it.
It would have really been funny if he tried to fucking levitate the egg. Like he just like fucking awkwardly.
Yeah. He knows Wingardium Leviosa. Those 4 spells.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because we've never we saw Ron do it.
Yeah.
In the first movie.
Yeah, we saw
We
the
don't know-
second.
No, the first one he does it with the ogre.
Oh yeah.
And then we see them do it with the cupcakes.
No, who did Harry or Ron do that?
It was Harry because Ron's wand was broken.
Yeah. Okay. So Harry.
Okay, so Harry does know that one.
Harry does know Wingardium Leviosa, so he knows 4 spells. And he
4 years.
Yeah, in 4 years of magic school, he's learned 4
He's
spells.
learned 1 per year.
Yeah. Okay.
Good enough.
But we're way ahead of ourselves. We'll get more to that. Sorcerer's Stone. I adored it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
the first 2 movies are classic.
Yeah, I adored Sorcerer's Stone. The colors are wonderful. Another thing, like I love that a lot of like even it's mostly Hermione, but the characters are always doing shit, and they're always building suspense to their twists and to their like conclusions. Everything is paid off. Everything is great. Yeah. I like even like stupid shit you don't think about, like I don't know, Quirrell was such like a non-character, and then like when you get there. And I'm sure he was more important in the books, or he did more shit in the book. What was his class?
That was he was Defense Against the Dark Arts. But that was so great about Quirrell, is that he was such a pitiable, unassuming character that we were pretty sure through the whole book, reading it for the first time, that he's just comedic relief.
Yeah.
Like, he's just there to be awkward and pathetic next to Snape. And then, so the whole time we're like, Snape's the bad guy. When you get to the end and it's Quirrell, we're like, God damn it.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Snape's cool.
Yeah.
Snape's really cool.
Mr. Weasley.
Someone might think you're up to something.
Up to something. Alan Rickman is a treasure. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
I say that like I don't joke about it. I'm like, I remember this one time they were watching Goblet of Fire on one of our friends' house, and it was that scene where they're discussing Wizard Prom. We'll get to that, but there's that scene where they're talking and he fucking keeps messing with their heads, which is abusive. Is there like a fucking school board?
This was the 90s. No, this was like
early 2000s.
No, it was 90s in the.
Oh yeah, okay. Right. So like Snape is just like fucking manhandling their heads and shit. But so I was like, all right, let's play a game. Let's count everyone who's alive in this scene. And I'm sorry, don't look at me like that. Anyway, but Snape's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
He's every scene he just commands. He has such a command of his character. You think he's an evil bastard. Like literally every movie I've seen where there's a bad guy, it's like it has to be Snape, and it never is. Like, it never is.
Well, you remember a pup named Scooby Doo?
Oh, he's the red herring.
Yeah, he's the red herring.
Did you see a pup named Scooby Doo?
Oh, a long time ago.
Oh yeah, they had a guy.
It's red herring.
It's red herring, and it never was.
Yeah.
Was it ever?
He's a red. I think once.
Yeah.
He was red herring.
And I know, I didn't get the joke till years later
yeah.
that they named him Red Herring for a reason.
Yeah, but like, I think one time Fred was like, "Yes, it's actually him." Yeah.
Dumbledore is fantastic too. I love like every time like Snape and Dumbledore. Like originally, what I always thought, and I still believe this to be true, but I don't think you said so. Is that like Snape and Dumbledore like seem to exist to contrast each other for me, where like they both like have this like this equal like this like camaraderie to themselves that like we're because like Dumbledore never once questioned Snape. Like Dumbledore is always 100% trusting of Snape, and the audience is literally never doing that, or we're never supposed to be doing that. So I think that's just a really cool thing to like give Dumbledore even that bigger air of like whimsical niceness.
Yeah.
Because even like us as the audience are like, don't fucking trust that guy. Fuck you and your
like his name. If you replace a P, it's Snake. One of her from Snake, man. Like that's shady as fuck.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's why I knew the guy. I knew a guy whose name was Criminal, and I didn't trust that guy.
That's great. Oh my god.
What? You really like that?
A little too much.
Yeah. I liked Hagrid's really fun too. Just a lot of really fun side characters that make you forget how not very good Daniel Radcliffe is.
Oh, yeah, well that's what makes Professor McGonagall so good. Is that like she's this strict, very traditional teacher in this school of dumbass teachers who don't follow their own rules, and you can just tell she's just perpetually exasperated.
Yeah.
With all of like between Snape and Dumbledore and all of their shenanigans.
I love McGonagall. That's my favorite teacher.
Yeah. She's lovely too.
Yeah, she reminds me of our teacher Miss Gonzalez.
Yeah. You would have no idea who that is.
I have no idea.
But you're right. That is true.
Yeah, but she seems like once you get to know her, it's like, oh yeah, I want to hang out with this teacher.
Yeah.
And, like,
you're gonna really like her in the next movie.
Oh,
in 5, yeah, McGonagall gets some. Is that stupid? Like, have a biscuit line in the movie?
Which one?
Where she's like, well, it's gonna spoil it for.
Oh, I can't remember. It's been I can't remember if it was in the movie or not. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's such a, it's honestly like the best line in that book. Oh god.
I do like McGonagall. She definitely, as the series goes on, has this degree of like, fuck this shit.
She's the most British.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like Mr. Weasley, like just as thick. But like she's the only teacher that's like, let's think about this for a second.
Yeah, but like in the Goblet of Fire, where like Snape's like, how about we just keep Harry in danger, so maybe we can figure out more about what's going on. And,
maybe.
And
then they end up not.
They end up not. And McGonagall's like, really? You're actually serious right now? And Dumbledore's like, yeah, I think Severus is right.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm done with all of you.
Just leave him. Like once the name is in the goblet, he has to take part. Like why? Like, he's not gonna nothing's gonna happen if he doesn't take part.
Actually, it's pretty well established that if you break a magical contract, you die.
No, but I was saying okay, just hide in a corner for a little bit and just not participate, Harry.
You'll lose.
Yeah, just fucking lose. You'll be fine.
That's what I was thinking. Like they weirdly forgot that he wasn't supposed to be in it. Like we keep going back to Goblet of Fire. Whatever.
Okay, so let's just finish up the first thing so we can talk exclusively.
Yeah, because there wasn't really anything I didn't like about the first one, honestly. Like other than Daniel Radcliffe not being very good, and you can't defend him by saying he's a kid, because Hermione's great in that movie, and so's Ron. They both play their characters really well.
We'll say the first movie has the most iconic imagery of the Harry Potter franchise. Yeah, you got the Quidditch, you got
that big shot of the castle.
Yeah, the big shot castle. You've got the I'm a what?
Yeah.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah,
it's all in that first movie.
Yeah, and then you move on to Chamber of Secrets, which is, in my opinion, is even better.
Oh yeah, it's even better. Less iconic, but still really good.
Yeah, I mean, like him with the giant snake was cool. You're right. Less iconic.
You said that the giant snake was kind of lame.
I mean, that was before I saw it, because I remembered it, and I thought it was a little lame that they opened the big thing, what they were looking for, and it was just a giant snake, but there was more than a giant snake. It was cool.
Yeah.
They even had the silly ass fucking Tom whatever Riddle become I am Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, and he specifically made that anagram. Not specifically to be I am
Lord Voldemort.
Well, he probably just had too many letters in his name and was like, what do I do? I just like to imagine a Tom Riddle sitting at his desk furiously scribbling and scratching out letters and rearranging them.
And once he figured it out, he probably fucking carved it into the desks and shit and
He was a little edgelord.
It's what should my name be? He has these grand plans of being Wizard Hitler, and he's focusing.
I can just imagine kids hey, what's up, Voldemort? Fucking picking on him and shit. And he's one day I'll show you.
But no, Chamber of Secrets is as of now my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because he had an even tighter script. Everyone was better with their character. Even Daniel Radcliffe was slightly better. Yeah, he played a more active role.
All the actors are pretty great.
Yeah.
Except
I love the parcel tongue thing aching at him the entire. There's always like every Harry Potter movie begins with Harry experiencing something that she shouldn't be experiencing, and then it kind of takes a back seat to the major conflict, and then at the end they're like, oh shit, it mattered all along. You know what I mean? Like it's generally how, because like the first one he was a wizard, the second one he was a parcel tongue, the third one he heard a woman screaming.
The third one was the whole like Sirius Black was coming after him.
I'm gonna fucking kill him.
That constantly like took a backseat. Well, it was the fact that he was being chased by the Grim.
Yeah.
The Grim and the black dog, and then at the end the black dog was Sirius Black.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say.
They found
the Dementors. I think the Dementors were the third one.
There was a lot of there was a lot of fucking. There was a lot of shit chasing Harry in that one.
You know the funniest thing I like is that there was a spell specifically to target Dementors. Like I just like it's like okay, this is literally the only time you're gonna use this spell, and also maybe if you need to tell someone something.
Every time Harry gets into some sort of fight, I'm screaming like, "Use the Patronus!" It's just
not gonna fucking work.
It's your special move.
No, his signature move is Expelliarmus.
They tell him, and I don't think they actually do. They might have.
Well, they tell him like, dude. They literally tell him that is your signature move. If you use it, people will know that it's you.
But it's a very basic move.
Yeah, no, but like that's the thing. It's like literally no fucking wizard worth their salt will use Expelliarmus except for you, Harry. So when you use it, people fucking like know. Like, even if you're trying to hide, people know that it's fucking you.
Yeah, he gets in trouble in like at the 7th one because like they're all in disguises and they get into a battle with the bad guys and they're all shooting like the bad guys are obviously shooting the killing curse. And then, like, the good guys are at least, like, freezing them or maiming them or debilitating them. And Harry's just like, Expelliarmus. And everybody's like, that one's Harry!
The funny thing, too, is, like, it's a very distinct color. Like, it's green.
Expelliarmus is red.
Yeah, it's red.
Nevada or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, it's a very distinct color, too. Yeah. Like, oh, shit, that's it. That's it. That's the fucking
wait. So, like, it's his signature move because it's such a shitty spell.
No, yeah,
it's like, just such a pacifist, like not gonna hurt anybody. It's also easy. They taught it to him when he was in 2nd year. Yeah. So Harry's just like, I can do that one.
Well, because I remember like
everyone has like I guess I don't know if everybody has their like signature move, but like Snape's signature move is like you fucking get cut, which we'll see later. But the thing is like so it's like dude, like stop fucking using that shit. They tell like dude, literally stop fucking using that shit.
Well, because I remember like because like they mentioned using that like you were teaching it to them in Chamber of Secrets, and like when he meets Voldemort in Goblet of Fire, he shoots the fucking cursed powerful spell. And he matches it with that one. And I was immediately like, hold up, he learned that last year when he was like 12. How is he keeping up with the fucking Dark Lord Wizard Hitler?
And that 2 years ago.
And it's literally only become of a plot MacGuffin.
What did?
My favorite thing is like the wands just turn into guns. And it's like, wouldn't just guns be better?
I don't know if the like speaking.
Like, imagine Voldemort rolled up with an AK. And it's like, what are you gonna fucking do? Like
Protego.
What?
The protector spell.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure guns don't work against a basic protection spell.
Yeah, they don't. They bounce off.
How would you know?
Because
Benny's a wizard.
There are multiple.
You can use like a protection spell to block a boulder?
Yeah, a boulder and a bullet.
And he was like, oh, no, just
do it. It also has to do with the strength of the spell as to like the weight of the object. I'm sure they teach you that in magic school.
Yeah, it would be so great if they like taught Harry that instead of just not.
Yeah. Well, it's not like Harry fucking rolled up with a gun and like, yeah, Voldemort, I'm gonna fucking shoot you.
I'm gonna bust a cap in Voldemort's ass.
Yeah.
So anyway, Chamber of Secrets is even better.
It's also like frequently established in the books at least that the wizards really look down on guns. Most of them don't even know what a gun is.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like pathetic pieces of metal. They're basically like caveman tools, quote unquote, that the Muggles use to kill each other. It's
kind of like Black Panther. Did they have the exact same thing in Black Panther?
There's a point where like a wizard is like, "What's a gun?" And the other wizard, neither of these I don't think are major characters, but the other wizard is like, "It's this metal tool thing that Muggles use to kill each other. It's basically a wand, but all it does is kill each other." He's like,
which is all they use wands for.
That seems like a really dumb
wands
invention.
for a lot of things.
Not in the books.
That is a lie. It's a bull-faced lie.
Yeah, you're just trying to make yourself look edgy and cool.
Yeah, dude.
By making observation that the death spell is used.
I mean, I believe that maybe
like 90% of the spells that are cast is Expelliarmus.
I mean,
okay,
maybe,
but that's also because the last 3 books take place during a war, David.
I mean, I can get what he's saying in that, like, they establish, because a big problem I'm having with these movies is that they're progressively getting less and less whimsical.
Oh yeah,
and that's fine if you're going to war, but like if you establish in your shit that your magic is fucking like all encompassing, it's weird that you would go to war and you're just kind of shooting little energy blasts at each other, you know?
Yeah, well, I will say that.
I mean, a lot of the war that goes on, sorry, Pinya, is like disguise spells. And a lot of it is protection spells. Spells that mean your hideout can't show up on a map. Charms and enchantments, poison. There's a lot of tracking spells that happen. And freaking like, and there's a lot of wizard politics and wizard prison and shit. I don't know. I think that like, and unlocking spells, of course. But like, I don't know. I think that.
How does that one go? Like,
Aloha more.
Yeah.
I think yes, there are a lot of fight scenes, and they amped those up in the movies because movies like action scenes. Yeah. But like most of the books is Hermione just doing protection and invisibility spells so they can hide out and not get killed, and then them finding various magical item MacGuffins that have to do with the plot.
Yes.
If there's anything, there's a few things that do sort of break the world a little bit. Mainly the 3. Unforgivable curses. Yeah, they're extremely easy to do.
That's what I thought.
Because like we'll go in the 5th book, in the 5th movie, whenever we get to it. Yeah. Bellatrix Lestrange basically tells Harry, in order to do the torture spell, you really have to mean it. Which I feel like is a pretty easy thing if you're trying to torture someone.
Yeah, in order to look like someone else, you have to have like make a potion that takes like 45 minutes.
No, it establishes in the movie they took them a month to make that potion.
Yeah, it takes them a month to brew a potion to look like someone else, but to end their life, not 5 seconds. You're done.
You have to beat it.
And then the hypnosis spell. Harry does it first try.
Oh yeah, Patronus was harder than that.
Yeah, and that's literally only one specific use.
I also wanted to point that out because I kept saying like, what was I gonna say? The Dementors. Like I was shocked to see that like they were used as like police enforcement. Yeah, like
prison guards.
Yeah, prison guards.
Prison guards.
Prison guards. Because like the minute I saw them, I was like, okay. Only a villain would decide these guys are fucking in charge of the prison system.
Well, it's actually in the books. I hate to say the actually, but like they say that like part of the reason that Wizard Court or Wizard Politics decided to use the Dementors as the Azkaban guards is they literally suck the happiness and your will to live or do anything out of you the closer to you they are. So they have a bunch of these things floating around the prison, and in the prison, the prisoners lose all will to live or to try to escape.
Okay, so my question is like they steal a soul out of you if you do manage to escape, right?
Yeah.
So like, do they just like dogs? Because that's how the Sirius escaped. He just turns into a dog.
Oh yeah.
And walks out of there.
Yeah, the idea is like they go to like open. I don't remember how they went in depth and explained it, but it's a part of the book that's really not talked about. How he escapes Azkaban. It's like they.
If I just remember, he just turned he's not registered as someone who has the ability to turn into a dog.
No, he's an which is very very illegal.
So when he's
unregistered or whatever, Animagus.
Unregistered Animagus, yeah.
Yeah, and basically they just did that fucking around in high school.
Yeah.
But anyways, the thing I'm trying to point is that from my memory, he turns into a dog since he's not registered, and he just walks out of the fucking prison.
It's some sort of big ass like escape thing that they explain in the books. Like they opened his the Dementors opened his cell to like feed him, and like he was able to slip past them because they can sense human souls but not dog souls, and he like climbs out of prison. He swims to land. Like
dogs
it's this
don't
long
have
ass
souls,
thing.
So when he turns into a dog, he just doesn't have a soul
anymore. No.
So okay. So if he dies as a dog, he doesn't go. So he's just done.
Yeah, he's done.
But if he dies as a human, he's going to heaven.
He changes his soul when he turns into a dog.
I don't.
No, I'm thinking about. I don't know.
I want to Google it now. now.
The only thing I remember is that he just turns into a dog and he can walk through the fucking bars.
We're gonna look this up because I genuinely haven't read Prisoner of Azkaban in so long.
Yeah, so what happened in the movie though? They didn't show it? I thought they showed.
They do not show how he escapes Azkaban, but that's part of the mystery, I guess.
They just kind of like, they showed...
I could have sworn it was just he turned into a dog that was able to get to the bars through the dog now.
Like, all they showed in the thing was that Sirius Black apparently found him out on the street where the Dursleys live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what's happening?
So, according to...
Harry Potter Wiki?
No.
But yeah, the dog was able to find him just on the street where the Dursleys live, and the fucking wizard bus shows up. Mm-hmm. And then they go in and he can't find him again for some reason. Like,
it's like, where is he going?
Where could he possibly be going on the wizard bus? But that's another thing I want to point out. This is just me. I kind of just want to upset people with my next statement. Because I don't do books, generally. Yeah, I don't. So I'm watching these Harry Potter movies, and a lot of cool shit's happening. And I'm like, why the fuck would you read this? Like, why would you just, like, sit there and look at... Like, I can't, like...
Like, why would you look at fucking words?
When you could be, like, looking into this shit actually happen. Because, like, literally, like, all I can see... Because, again, I don't do books, so please... And I'm taking...
Oh, sure. Well, I would be happy to explain it to you.
I mean, hang on. Just give me a second.
Yeah,
Okay, I found it, by the way.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so in 1993, Sirius Black escaped from Azkaban after seeing Scabbers in a Daily Prophet article of the paper Cornelius Fudge gave him in July of 1993, visiting him in the prison. He recognized him as his traitorous former friend.
Wait, so you just saw a rat in the paper? Like,
That's
that motherfucker! That motherfucker!
Do you remember when they vaguely touch on it in the movie, but you won't notice it unless you read the paper that Ron's holding? But the
when they went to Egypt.
Yeah, they win a very minor wizard lottery, and they get enough money to go to Egypt and do a trip. And in they take their picture and put it in the paper like wizard family wins lottery, whatever. And in the picture, Scabbers is sitting on Ron's shoulder with like his little paws out, and Sirius can see that he's missing a finger.
So we saw that, like a rat missing the finger. That motherfucker! Yeah. That piece of shit! This dude's been hiding out fucking 20 years!
Anyway, by August 1st, Black took advantage of extreme weight loss due to starvation to slip through the bars of his cell door in his animagus form, which was unregistered, thus the ministry did not take preparations against it. The Dementors were bringing him food. He swam across the North Sea to find Pettigrew. Black was able to maintain his sanity due to his knowledge of his own innocence, a non-happy thought that the Dementors could not take. It was this only thing that allowed him to maintain his powers to transform, and what made the escape possible.
Oh my god, I still love that.
It was officially the first escape, it was officially the first only known unaided escape from Azkaban in history, until Barty Crouch Jr.'s escape was revealed.
Oh man, Azkaban's really easy to get out of these days.
2 people in like a decade.
Well, there's a reason for the reason for that is later as they find out the Dementors are very solidly Voldemort's agents, and they just let people out sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I figured because the Dementor, again, were too obviously evil and fucked up to not be recommended by the fucking villains.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having having the Dementors like run the prison guards is like just having like regular white guy cops run the prison guards. Yeah. Oh wait. Anyway, anyway, so going way back, Chamber of Secrets is great. I loved the whole thing with Tom Riddle. I think it was really cool. Just the whole thing with the parcel tongue was neat. Ron is excellent. I love Ron. I wish he had him being dumb. Cause they wrote themselves into a corner with they have to make Hermione do everything. Because they make Ron stupid and they make Harry.
Ron can play chess though.
I mean, yeah, that's it.
Fucking not even Hermione could do that shit.
She could if she wanted to. Do they make anything that she can't do wizard chess?
She thinks wizard chess is barbaric and refuses to cooperate.
I mean, why does the fact that it's still chess? Why is chess deemed barbaric just because they beat the shit out of each other?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's Hermione. You know? So when it's time to play wizard chess, Ron steps up to the fucking plate.
I mean, yeah, I know that. Which was, I remember it being a little silly too, because I like the idea of like the fucking okay, we got this stone to guard, we got this really important artifact we need to guard. How do we do that? Like, okay, we can build a giant chessboard.
Yeah.
And just we fucking put pieces on it, and they have to win the game. Like it's dope. But they make Ron stupid, and they make Harry passive and nothing. So they literally cannot do anything unless Hermione's around, and they show that because Hermione gets petrified.
Yeah, the second one.
In the second one, and they spend a whole 30 minutes following a lead where they get nowhere with it, and then they just hang out with Hermione, and she has the answer in her fucking hand.
Yeah, literally. and basically, the only thing that their journey, all they did was pretty much confirm what Hermione had found.
Yeah, basically.
Like, okay, wow, it says that they don't like spiders are afraid of them. We talked to some spiders and almost died, and they said they're afraid, so it's gotta be the bastards, right? Boom. Solved.
Exactly.
And Freddy's like, we couldn't have done it without you, Hermione. It's like, yeah, no shit.
I like how the idea of they just didn't touch her hand.
Yeah.
That's all they had to do. Harry just being all fucking weird about it, just touching her. I will say, I feel bad about Justin, who got petrified, and they didn't care much for him.
Yeah.
They cared more about... I also like how very coincidentally, the basilisk was really great at hiding from everybody, but not super great at looking anyone in the eye. Because there was always some bullshit happening around them to make sure they never truly looked him in the eye. Like Headless Nick, almost what is it?
Nearly Headless Nick.
Nearly Headless. Fucking he turned around and nearly Headless Nick was like, "What's up?" And then the bat giant ass snake was just like, "What's up?" And then or through the lens of a camera and shit. But the final battle was cool. Stupid dumbass sword in a hat.
Yeah.
That was did we talk about that?
I don't think we have on right now.
I mean, cause it was a pretty big gamble, cause they established in both movies the Sorting Hat was you definitely should have been in Slytherin, because you have Voldemort in you, Voldemort is inside you.
It's gay.
Yeah, it is. It gets even gayer in the fourth one,
now he's got Voldemort liquids.
Yeah.
Or he's got his liquids in
Harry's,
Voldemort.
Voldemort's got Harry's liquids in him, and then they touched wands. But, so they're
normally you have to touch wands first, and then...
get the liquids. But, they spend 2 movies acknowledging that, Harry, you should have definitely been Slytherin. And then they send the hat that it can only be used by a true Gryffindor. So fucking Dumbledore was pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
And it didn't even show up initially. It was kind of just randomly appeared inside the hat.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, both of Harry's parents were Gryffindors.
Yeah, okay.
So it was okay, I'm going to send him this hat, and hopefully it will work. We've got a good track record going here, right? Yeah. Their parents were Gryffindor, he's Gryffindor, it'll work out.
It'll probably work out.
I really would have liked the hat to just be all right, you pieces of shit, let's go.
And the hat did the fighting?
Yeah, just say, you just point, I'll say spells, dude.
Also, I thought, honestly, my biggest problem with Chamber of Secrets was a bit the climax.
Yeah.
Because as much as it was very well built up to, a fight with a giant snake just isn't that interesting, honestly. Yeah. Also, I thought it was silly. Tom Riddle was kind of just standing there.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Well, what else is he going to do? He's basically an apparition, a spirit that's slowly being built off of the energy of a dead girl.
He could have just disappeared for a bit, or he could have combined with the snake.
He could have been riding the head of the snake.
He could have been on the snake. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
He could have rode the snake.
Yeah, why not?
That would have been dumb.
No dumber than him just being
yeah,
I just did a.
They definitely gonna see that. Yeah.
Just off in the distance, oh, all right, Harry. Let's see who's gonna win, the champion of Gryffindor or my fucking big ass snake.
I mean, it was so funny when he ran off and the basilisk's blind. So he's chilling around the pipes, and then he comes back to the big room, and he's just standing there.
That's the whole point. Is he's distracting Harry with the big ass snake, so Tom can sit there and drain Ginny's life force. Which
Neville would go on to do later. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised by that, by the way, but we had that. But I just thought they could have. Also, the scene wasn't shot very well because as they were revealing the thing, it was just kind of a back and forth cut shot between them talking, and the angle and the close up of the face was cool. But I don't know, he could have been pacing. At the very least, he was a fucking. He's like a created image memory of one of the most powerful wizards of all time. He could have done something cool.
Yes.
And I mean, like, the character of Voldemort is very established. He's not a pacey type of guy. He's not an anxious person. He's very cold and calculated, very charming person.
Okay, so maybe if he had like a throne. And he was just like sitting on the throne in the chamber.
That would have been, but no, like I'm not saying pacing like in an anxious way, but pacing in I'm gonna take my time.
Yeah,
while
like
I'm telling you this.
walking around in a circle, like. Oh,
yeah, like oh Harry, I got you now. Like,
what you gonna do?
especially since like when he appears finally, he's a very jokey like hey like kind of dude like.
Which is what makes him so scary.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Especially they explore that in the 6th one, because the 6th one is basically. We're gonna stop the plot to do Voldemort's backstory for a whole fucking movie.
Harry Potter has a habit of just stopping the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Is that he was extremely good looking and extremely charming.
Yeah, and they sort of took all that away from him just to be the scary dude.
Towards the end, or
well, by the end, when he resurrects himself in Goblet of Fire, obviously he's ugly because he's barely human anymore. But in his early days,
he's been munching with unicorn blood for a while.
Yeah, but in his early days of gathering followers, he was this fresh out of Hogwarts, really good-looking guy who was like, "Hey, you know what's good? White power." And all the guys were like,
"Fucking Death Eaters are just KKK." Dude, I laugh. I actually laugh. Like when the Death Eaters. Because like imagine like when you're like a kid and you're watching these movies that's scary as shit and you don't know anything. But like me being a full-grown man, watching fucking Wizard KKK roll up to the Quidditch World Cup, the silliest shit. Well, it's so like I will say is that like there's this degree of fascism that exists like in it, but it's not a consistent fascism. Yeah, because they allude like to like Voldemort being Hitler, but he uses the KKK. And those are different things. Yeah. You can't, my personal opinion, they're different enough that you can't really have them together. Yeah. You can't.
You also haven't gotten to the war yet.
Yeah,
you're right on that cusp of like they're setting up the world.
Yeah.
And the backstory. And now we gotta do the big shit.
You do the war. Do the war.
Do the war.
But overall,
the most dangerous villain in the whole world. I am Lord Voldemort.
I am Lord Voldemort. Mr. I am Lord Voldemort. But okay, so let's get into some meat of this shit. So I adored Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. I love them. I very understand how these movies started a generation of fans that were appealed to books. Yeah, and just a giant fandom that exists on the internet. I understand how these movies did that. They're wonderful, whimsical movies about a world that you just want to be a part of. The Prisoner of Azkaban happened, and like suddenly I just wanted to cry. Like it was so like. I get like, a lot of why I hate it is emotional. I very genuinely don't believe it's a very good movie. The script's not as tight like as the first two. It definitely like nothing feels as built up as it was in the first two. Yeah. Well, because I guess because Harry promises like Ron's dad or whatever the fuck his name is,
Mr. Weasley,
Porry McPorson. He's poor.
And Harry's like stupid fucking rich.
Yeah.
And like he didn't even give Ron a couple bucks to buy a new wand.
That was the whole thing. Like, does the school not have any okay, you can here's some like.
Well, Harry keeps offering in the books, and Ron's like, no, it's fine. Like my parents are saying they're gonna save up and buy me a new one or whatever whenever they can, and Ron gets very like. He does not like Harry buying him things or giving him money. It makes him feel very bad.
I just think it's funny though.
He didn't mind in the first one.
Well, yeah, because he was an 11-year-old and he met this new acquaintance that he didn't know was like, hey, I'm gonna get all the candy, and Ron was like, really? That's really cool. But after they became best friends, and Harry keeps trying to buy him shit, Ron keeps fighting him on it. There's actually a huge scene in Goblet of Fire that leads up to their big not talking to each other thing, where Harry bought Ron a very expensive present when they went to the World Cup, and he got one for Hermione and Ginny too, because he was feeling nice.
Yeah, and Ron, also he's stupid fucking rich.
Yeah, and
it's not like he's
And then Ron blew up at him you don't have to do this. It just feels like you're showing off, and you're making me feel bad about because I can't ever do this for you back.
They only did that very lightly in I think it was in one of the. I think it was in 4, where like Ron was like, "Oh, I want this candy and this candy," and then you look at his money. It's like, "Okay, on second, I just want this candy." And Harry's like, "Oh, I'll get you some," and he's like, "No, just, I'll take that one thing." But then Harry got distracted by a boner. Because then Cho showed up and he's gonna stare at her creepily for like 5 whole seconds and then moved on.
Yeah, Cho, one of the 2 age representations so far. Because of
I finally met Nagini too, and the way he fucking like goes into Voldemort, I'm like, oh look, it's Voldemort's Asian woman.
Actually, yeah, specifically Southern Korean.
Yeah, Southern Korean Asian woman that Voldemort owns.
Yeah, and Neville fucking murders.
Oh really?
Neville does kill her, yeah.
Wow.
Just ruining the plot.
I remember seeing that. I think I saw that already. But like,
my bad.
That really does. That's really uncomfortable.
I mean, she is a villain. She's a pretty bad villain.
But she was like forced to become an animal and stay like that.
I mean, the lore is that like she's under a blood curse where she will eventually permanently succeed to her animal form. But she joins Lord Voldemort. I think she joins Grindelwald and then joins Voldemort or whatever. But
she's really into the whole cult scene, you know.
She's just solidly a bad guy, and it's not. I mean, like it's not her fault that she gets stuck as a snake. But nobody's like making her stay working for Wizard Hitler.
Is Grindelwald like Wizard Mussolini then?
Yeah. Well, they were different times, you know.
Yeah, a lot of different times.
Grindelwald was like Voldemort's big inspiration.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
He was like, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do it better.
Did he?
I mean, he definitely killed more people.
Oh, well, good for him. But, so, Azkaban is my least favorite one of the 4. I actually actively despise it.
It's heresy, Josh. You have to like all of them.
I know. I was waiting. I've been like waiting because more people ask because now I'm telling people and they'll ask me questions and I'm like, oh man, I dislike this one. It was all like, what? You don't like them? I like some of them.
I'm just fucking with you. Like,
well, no, there are people who think that like you have to like them all or you don't like any of them.
I like only like there was like 3 of them I don't fucking like.
Well, nobody likes the last 2.
I like the last one. It was as good as it had. I mean.
Okay, nobody likes 7. I'll put it there. I don't know anybody who's like 7 was a great movie.
I don't like 6. I thought 5 was okay. 3 is not that great.
5 is one of those where either you were bored or you loved it. It's very, very dependent on characters because some of the best characters are revealed in that movie and also some of the worst.
So, yeah, none of the people in Prisoner of Azkaban did much. And their characters changed too drastically for me to buy it. Because, I mean, I've since had nerds in my life who feel the need to talk down on me because I don't read the books. I haven't read the books.
The books are pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I told him, like, I don't like how drastically more edgy and fucking, like, suddenly really whiny all these characters are. And he's like, oh, well, that was a change deliberately made in the books. And I told him, like, well, then I probably wouldn't have liked it in the books either then, now wouldn't I?
It's not even that they were whinier. It's just, like, around age 13, like, they get hormones. And they get edgy. And they get, like, tired. And, like, I don't know. It's like they've got this, nobody can tell me what to do type attitude. And on one hand, it's kind of annoying because you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's so in character of what an actual 13-year-old going to a boarding school would be like.
I don't know. I just feel like it could have been less drastic. I think it could, and also a little more acknowledgement that they were different from some people. Like, cause like, I get it, and like we miss whole summers of these characters, but it would all it would need to have done is like. Maybe, at the very least, the most shittily and corny they could have done it is have Hagrid, like, interact with them, be all like, man, you guys, like, going through puberty or whatever. Like, well, that's the most hackney way they could have done it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
but some acknowledgement in it that they were different, because they weren't. They weren't the same humble little
children. There was also, like, the director being an asshole about it. He's like, we're going to make them, like, this is going to be a cool teen movie.
That's what Azkaban felt like. What were you say?
I was gonna say that J.K. Rowling's not particularly good at fucking writing teenage characters. Oh, because not necessarily with Harry Potter, but like I read her book after Harry Potter, The Casual Vacancy.
Yeah, The Casual Vacancy was interesting.
Well, basically, a dude gets a boner on the bus because of the vibration of the bus.
Oh yeah, that doesn't happen. How old is he?
Huh?
How old is he?
Like high school.
Oh yeah, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, so it's just like, looking back on it, it's like, wow, she just, I mean, Harry Potter does feel a little bit more mature than what she wrote there.
Yeah.
But still very clear she doesn't really have a great understanding of
male.
Like I think again, the character who suffered the most, because Harry's a pretty blank. I think Harry improved because he's more snarky now.
Yeah.
So Harry's more entertaining to see, but like Ron only increasingly got whinier, and he's not even like it used to be like Ron was dumb and Hermione was snobby. Now they are both whining.
Yeah.
Like Hermione's lost all her snobbishness.
I don't know. The fourth one, she got back a lot of it.
I don't think so. Well, because she spent a lot of time crying about Harry being in the Triwizard Tournament.
She cries a lot in the last book.
Well, to be fair, she's got fucking PTSD.
I mean,
she's been traumatized. This poor girl literally gets like.
No, it's
They all get tortured at one point.
I'm talking before that. She was crying like way before that shit.
She I think her first like big crying scene was in 6. The point being is like you're gonna be 5 is interesting because 5 is Harry's like I'm fed up with this shit and I'm done being the chosen one book, or he just wants to be a normal kid and he goes through this whole sullen, depressed. He's very genuinely has depression, but that's when all his friends mature. So all of a sudden Hermione and Ron they're still that dumb, smart dynamic, but they're much more mature characters than they were in the last few books. Like, that are serious about their education, looking forward to their future, and getting into, like, about to go to war. And Harry's being a giant angst ball. And it's an interesting dynamic. You either love it or you hate it.
I look forward to seeing it, but as of, like, Prisoner of Azkaban, all of Hermione's, like, charming snobbiness is gone. Like, she spends most of her time being mad for, like, no reason. And, like...
And I was going to say, one thing I was going to say is that these books pretty accurately follow, the movies accurately follow the books. Like, pretty straightforwardly. I mean, the things that they change is because they have to make it into the movie, but they don't cut anything super serious, I don't think.
From what Kylie's told me, they just cut down a lot of characters who were more developed. That didn't really matter.
Yeah. So, like, I guess in the part 2... there was a whole big section of how nearly headless Nick has like a complex about being nearly headless.
Yes.
She told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I get like it's sort of just to flesh out the word a little bit, but you don't need that in the fucking movie.
Yeah, you don't. Because they go to like a convention or something.
Yeah, like a headless convention because everyone's fucking headless.
They did
not. They have a birthday or it's a birthday party or like a death anniversary, and Dumbledore gives him permission to hold it in the school dungeons. And there's all this rotten, moldy food because the ghosts think that they can kind of feel it if they float through it. It's like this whole thing into the ghost world of Harry Potter. And, like, he invites all these snobby people who don't like him to hopefully gain their friendship, and they reject him because he's only nearly headless.
Yeah, and they're fucking showing off.
The true problems of the world.
They're fucking flexing on them, fucking playing hockey with their heads and shit.
Yeah, because you can't do headless sports if you're only nearly headless.
That's true.
And so he feels left out of the headless ghost world. Because there's all those people who were like, beheaded during the French Revolution. He doesn't get to hang out with them.
Oh, dude, I feel so bad for him. Anyway. But, so
if you don't like the third movie, you're probably gonna like the book.
So yeah, Abyss is the big thing. Like, the climax of Prisoner of Azkaban isn't even brought up by their own volition.
Oh yeah, it's purely coincidence.
Yeah, well, because, like, I guess Pettigrew or Wormtail sensed that Sirius Black and Remus Lupin were around, so they bit Ron and they just kind of chased after him, and then suddenly they were shifted into the shit. They didn't find Sirius Black.
And, like, here's the thing, the main fucking thing wasn't even... like a bad guy. It's just like, oh shit, he's turning into a werewolf now.
Yeah, that was random. That was random and not super necessary. And not well built. Like, they mentioned, like, Snape had that lesson on werewolves. Did Snape know he was a werewolf?
Oh yeah, you fucking.
That's the thing is
you're
like
fucking flexing on him. Dude.
The only people who knew as teachers were Snape and Dumbledore. And Snape knew because there's backstory shit. Of course, Dumbledore knew because he gave him the job and he had to disclose that. So Snape was told not to tell anybody, so he spent the entire book trying to hint at the students and other teachers that this guy was a werewolf so that they could get him kicked out of his teaching position.
Oh, that's why he taught werewolves specifically?
Yeah, It's hilarious. There's like multiple times where he's sick and like there's a point where he's like, did you drink a potion? Because Snape keeps brewing potions for Remus so he's more docile when he turns into a werewolf. And he's like very begrudgingly doing it. And but my favorite part, the biggest hint honestly that they give you is when they're fighting the boggart that turns into your biggest fear. And Remus jumps in front of Harry because it turned into a Dementor. And for Remus, it turns into the full moon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's weird and neat.
Yeah. You did not remember that.
I did not. I completely forgot about that.
Honestly, I felt like that totally gave it away, but...
Yeah,
I know, completely missed that. All right. Like,
fair enough.
Well played, movie. Well played. I'll give you those points. So, yeah, it just felt like the characters were suddenly super annoying. I guess it doesn't help that I'm seeing these, like, basically back-to-back, day-to-day.
Yeah.
But, like, the characters that I fell in love with were suddenly super annoying and not doing anything.
Well, I think the thing is also different is that you're watching it as an adult.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of us watch it when we were kids, so it's like, oh my god, I'm just so happy to be back.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, fuck this shit.
That's true. Because, like, the whole movie happened, like, without them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, because I remember the big moments. I remember Sirius Black showing themselves, the Peter Pettigrew thing, or some stuff. I don't remember what Ron, Harry, and Hermione were doing throughout the whole movie.
I remember that he gets a Marauders map.
Yes.
And then he goes to, like, that bar, and they're like, yo, Sirius Black totally betrayed him. Totally betrayed that Potter kid's parents.
Yeah.
Then he leaves the bar. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill him. That's the only thing I really remember from that movie.
Yeah, like, you think...
because it's just, like, the funniest
You'd
shit
think
ever.
that his murderous intent would motivate him to find Sirius Black more, but that didn't even play. It was such,
It was like, Harry, calm the fuck down. You're not gonna kill him. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna kill him.
But, like, it was such, like, a, like, unmemorable movie. I don't, like... Okay, they learned about the Hippogriff.
Okay,
like,
which again, they did a bad job of characterizing Malfoy as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because that was a very dangerous fucking animal.
Yes.
And, like, even if he had been respectful, there's no guarantee that he wouldn't have gotten knocked off and broken his arm.
He literally, like, Harry almost got his shit kicked in, even though he was nothing but respectful.
Well, what made him look like an asshole is not only did he just deliberately not follow the instructions that were given to him, but, like, he got a little cut on his arm, and he milked the shit out of that. Tried to get someone fired over it for fun, and tried to get an animal killed.
Oh my fucking god.
That was another thing I didn't mention in Chamber of Secrets. Lucius made some very real threats to Harry at the end of Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, yeah.
He was, like, right outside Dumbledore's office. I think he should have said something, you know? Like,
most of those were not scripted. Like freaking whatever his name is, and Daniel Radcliffe ad-libbed half of that shit.
Really?
Because you know that scene where, like, or that moment where Lucius is, like, he's supposed to leave the office.
Yeah.
But he ad-libbed and turned to Harry and was like, well, hopefully Harry Potter will always be there to save the day. Thinking, like, they'll cut it if they don't want it. And Daniel Radcliffe, being on the ball, goes, don't worry, I will be.
That was very silly. That
was not scripted.
Yeah. You could tell now that you mentioned it, because that's silly and very, like, superhero-like. And it's like, that's not the tone y'all are going for.
No, but they kept it because they were like, if you guys felt the need to throw that in, then okay, we'll keep it.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then the whole fucking thing about how you free Dobby or whatever, with give the clothes then.
Like, I guess they just don't do laundry.
No, you have to present someone with clothes. You can't just be like, go clean my laundry.
I'm saying, like, if you have, so if I have, like, a basket of clothes and I can't just, like, here, house elf, go do my laundry, because then be like, you gave me clothes. I am no longer your slave.
I think it's mostly like, take my clothes, they are not yours, and go clean them.
But he told him to hold the book.
There's a lot of semantics
He didn't say this book is yours. You get to keep this book and everything that is inside the book. He handed him a book. He grabbed the book and there was a sock in it. So basically, if you're just like, oh hey, can you grab my gym bag? You open the bag and there's clothes in there. Then that's not your fucking house elf anymore.
That's
be real careful with that shit.
So yeah, like, just the characters were annoying. I don't remember anything that really happened to it. They just kind of meandered about while shit happened to them in the background. And then, like, again, great twist. The whole thing with, like, Scabbers being a fucking dude. That was cool.
A fucking dude.
It was a perfectly reasonable climax that could have saved an otherwise mediocre movie. Mm-hmm. Then that fucking time turner bullshit happened, and I was actively screaming at the screen.
Yeah,
I was yelling at the screen because
fucking kill this movie.
Well, because they explain. I also it's an underrated aspect that I don't think I've heard enough people talk about. They weren't dramatic with Snape's entrance. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but they're just kind of talking, and you see Snape in the background walk up the stairs and then take a stance. So he's like, "Don't move!" And it's silly. You know how usually the cops have a move where they bust in, "Don't move." Imagine if you just saw the cops getting out of their car and by scrambling by themselves.
That's great.
Oh, by the way, does they yell at Harry "You just attacked a teacher," it was a huge thing. Did he get any repercussions for that?
I mean, he's Harry fucking Potter.
That's true. I mean,
I like to point out this is not the first time he's attacked a teacher. He's attacked a lot of teachers because a lot of them tried to kill him.
But Snape was trying to save him, though.
Fair enough.
Snape was trying to rescue him, and he fucking bodied him, threw him through a fucking bunk bed or whatever the fuck it was. Just shot him for no reason. Technically no reason.
Yeah.
And then he was unconscious and buried. Could have been dead.
Got minus 50 points from Gryffindor.
No.
And then Dumbledore gave him 200 and they won again.
For bravery. That's another thing. Dude, Dumbledore shows such favoritism.
Yeah. Dude, I've been pissed off too if I was in Slytherin. Because they won legitimately.
Yeah.
And then they fucking put their drapes up.
Yeah.
And let them cheer. And then it was like, oh, by the way, Gryffindor actually won.
Yeah. And then
they have just enough points.
Fucking and half those students don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
For as far as they know. Dumbledore just for no reason giving people fucking points in Gryffindor. I also like to point out Dumbledore's just really shitty at his job.
Oh yeah.
Because he's always just letting shit slide. He's always not listening to the Ministry, which to be fair, I get it. Yeah. Because the Ministry seems to be controlled by dark wizards.
Very corrupt, and it only gets worse.
Yeah. But just Dumbledore is just actively really horrible at keeping evil shit out of his school. Especially since people keep saying, as long as Dumbledore's around, you'll probably be fine. And that just has never been the case.
As a matter of fact, it's Harry who's fucking holding that shit down. Purely because, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's fucking great. But that time travel scene, I was actively yelling.
Yeah, it was actually kind of low-key killing the mood for me.
I mean, because there was no mood. How could you possibly have a mood with how dumb it was? I could not fathom it.
I mean, I guess it's because I saw it as, like Penny said, I saw it as a kid, and I was like, wow, they're introducing, time travel to this already pretty cool world, and, I don't know, you're easily amused as a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit, he saved himself. It wasn't his dad. His dad's dead.
Yeah, I guess that is the fucking downside of me watching it as an adult. But there was no mood. Because what happened basically was that something exciting happened in the movie. And the movie was so fucking proud of itself that it felt the need to just show it again. Because it would have been one thing if they went back and they affected it. And, because, they affected it. Because we saw what happened. Mm-hmm. We saw what happened. And then that time travel really showed us is the 2 or 3 things that happened while the thing was happening.
Yeah. So,
the only thing that was really gained was how they got the hippogriff to save Sirius.
Well, the implication is they are taken by the school and, the teachers to the hospital, and in the books the whole time they're kicking and screaming and saying he's innocent, you have to save him, you have to stop this, and they're like, you're clearly crazy or under a curse because this guy's a mass murderer. And while he's being taken to his execution, they're taking them to the hospital wing to be evaluated. And so by the time they get to the hospital wing, Sirius is already being set up for his execution. There's no time to go save him. Mm-hmm. And so as all the teachers slowly leave to go witness the execution, Dumbledore hangs back and is like, there's only really one way to give these kids enough time to do it, and I can't do it because, that'd be fucking obvious and I'd lose my job.
That was crazy unclear in the movie.
Yeah. And so he tells Hermione, you have to use the time turner, and it's implied he gets the idea because he's the one that witnesses that the hippogriff was taken. And wasn't there, and he's like, I must have already asked them to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, first off, that creates a stupid-ass time loop. I don't like time travel shit in movies in general.
Yeah.
Well,
never
you're
good.
saying that you don't like Back to the Future?
I mean,
I hate Back to the Future. We will never do a Back to the Future.
Don't need money, don't need friends, don't need credit cards and phone.
but this is okay. But, so basically, all you really saw was a behind the scenes of, like, that whole climax. And then, I mean, okay, another thing, it would have been fine. Also, I mean, I was mad. You saw that I was mad. But I also would have been fine if they left at it. But they also felt the need for Harry to explain what just happened, what I just saw happen.
Yeah.
And then he's like, does that make sense? And Hermione's like, no. And I'm like, even the movie says it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, even the movie says it's stupid. And then all they really did was save Sirius. And in the book, if that was very adequately explained, I get it. It's still dumb, but I get it. They didn't really do that. He was just kind of chilling in a cell at the top of a tower.
Yeah, which would have never happened. Like, this guy has escaped Azkaban, and we're gonna leave him alone in a tower.
Yeah.
With no Dementors or teachers or guards or anything.
To be seen. So honestly, like as far as it looked in the movie, they didn't need the hippogriff.
No.
They
Fair
could.
enough.
They had a magic invisible cloak. Like they could have just done that. So like the only reason they could have, and even like if you, they didn't need the hippogriff because they have a magic invisible cloak and the place was seemingly unguarded. But if you must have had the hippogriff, they did a really fucking convoluted way to explain how the hippogriff got away. Because that's literally all you gain from the time travel thing is that the hippogriff wasn't actually killed. Which they could have gone a myriad of much easier ways that didn't waste my fucking time.
They could just fucking stab Filch.
Yeah.
Or whoever they were trying to get them.
Maybe fucking Lupin freed it. I don't know. Like maybe.
Or maybe like.
And that's
Hermione.
why Lupin has to leave the school instead of his werewolfism guy.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe fucking Hermione, who punched Malfoy, was like, is really into throwing hands. So that she's just fucking beating the shit out of the executioner.
Yeah, just fucking.
Fun fact: do you remember you asked me if there's like a werewolf rights thing?
Yeah.
There is a werewolf rights like movement started later by Hermione.
Oh really?
On Remus's behalf. Yeah.
Why? Oh okay, on Remus's behalf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she ends up working for the Ministry.
That's another thing I'm not really appreciating about it. They're really into using this fascism imagery, but like there are so many oppressed groups in the wizard world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a shit ton. Like so much so that it's a little silly. So like
Oh come on! They couldn't just be like, okay, we have to have gay people, women, and like people of color. So they're like, okay, we have Muggle-borns,
Squibs.
Well, when you
squibs, and
werewolves. You got the house elves.
yeah, werewolves, house
but
elves.
like
There's one more I can't think of the name for.
if we're talking about like a story, like you need to keep consistent on who's oppressed for the story.
Everybody's oppressed.
But that's the whole point. Is that the purebloods and the Death Eaters who are like at the height of the society, who are running the government and everything else, the people with the money. So basically, our straight white men.
Yeah.
Metaphors are oppressing literally everyone that's not them.
But they established like that a lot of these like half-bloods that are in there are oppressive to the werewolves, and that like the werewolves don't get jobs, but like the fucking half-bloods do. So you're like
There's a huge difference between being a half-blood and being a Muggle-born too.
Yeah, there's just so many oppressed groups, and so many of them are mad at one another constantly. That from the perspective of a story, yes, I know that happens in real life. But from a perspective of a story, it's convoluted, and there's not really building. Because even if they overcome Voldemort, now there's just fucking werewolves who are oppressed, and that wasn't resolved.
Werewolf, house elves.
That's it. Is that like she tries to build this world so in depth and realistically.
Giants are kind of oppressed.
Giants are not oppressed. It's like they didn't like them. They don't like neither side likes each other. So the Giants go live in their own mountains and don't fuck with the wizards.
So that's like the house elves are probably like among the most oppressed, and we don't spend that much time with them.
I mean, yeah. There's another house elf or two that gets introduced. That was a whole thing. It's in the fourth book that would have just been more unnecessary padding that didn't add to the plot. But that was a whole thing. Is like there was a house elf that was introduced that was the suspect of being the one that like put the dark mark in the fairgrounds at the World Cup. and nobody would believe her because she was a house elf.
Uh-huh.
And then because Hermione was like, "What's Dobby up to nowadays?" And we found out that Dobby got a job in the Hogwarts kitchens, and he's being paid. But because Dumbledore was like, "You want to get paid?" And he was like, "Sure." But none of the other hundreds of house elves that secretly work underground at Hogwarts do.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, but they don't want to. They're so brainwashed into thinking that they're servants that they would consider it insulting to be paid.
Yeah.
And Hermione's the only one who actually sees humanity in them.
So she starts this organization called SPEW, which I think is the Society of Protection of Elfish Welfare. And
are you telling me
so when does that happen?
That's the fourth book. Yeah, and they completely cut it from the movie, but she like passes out buttons, creates flyers, and she's like really into it, and everybody just thinks she's a dumbass.
Are you telling me that Hermione is Wizard Martin Luther King?
I mean, she's more like I don't know, kind of, but this is a thing that she like carries on throughout the rest of the series. Every time she meets a house elf, and like then she gets into the Ministry. She like after the war is over, she joins the Ministry. She starts like Werewolf Advancement Act. She like institutes SPEW as like a political thing to get a house elf rights, and eventually in the sequel series she does become Minister for Magic.
Oh, okay.
So she's badass, and we love her.
I will say something that's disappointing about the ending is that something I saw online was like, it would have been cool if Harry became the dark arts teacher, or defense against the dark arts teacher, since he's just like he's an average dude, right?
Oh yeah.
So like if he was an average dude and by the end just got an average job, it would have very worked as he's not special but he's okay with it, as opposed to just no, he's just a fucking badass.
Yeah, he becomes wizard police.
Yeah,
which is a very unsubstantial job, I think. Like
no, but in the wizarding world, it's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like fucking you're like a fucking yeah, it's like you're not just going after like regular dudes, you're going after magic crimes.
Oh yeah.
Because the Aurors are different than just the regular magical law enforcement. Like the MLE and then the Aurors are the dark wizard catchers, or the badass guys, special forces.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm saying. Like Harry's distinctly not badass.
He is. That's true.
So then we get Goblet of Fire. I liked a lot better than Prisoner of Azkaban, but I like most insect bites more than I like Prisoner of Azkaban.
Well, I think Goblet of Fire, my favorite part, and it's gonna sound terrible, but I've mentioned this multiple times. My favorite part is when Harry Potter comes back with the corpse of Cedric Diggory, and everybody's cheering, and he's just crying.
Yeah, it is really funny.
He's crying, and people are like, "Oh shit!" And then he just yells to the crowd, "Voldemort's back! He's back!" And then the Cedric Diggory's dad's like, "That's my boy! That's my boy!"
I actually did tear up at that part though. It was so sad.
Oh no, but it's really funny.
Yeah, you're right, because like they appear and the body just plops on the ground, and everyone's like, "Yeah!" And he's like,
it's just like, "Oh fuck." Oh,
they all very slowly realize it.
Oh shit. Really, yeah.
Can I just say, like, they made it out like Voldemort killed Cedric Diggory? He did not. Fucking no, Wormtail did. Wormtail shot him. Wormtail shot him before they resurrected him. So like they made Cedric Diggory sound a lot cooler than he actually did.
I could have sworn Voldemort had done it.
Maybe in the
Voldemort in the books at least he has his wand in his tiny little baby hand and he kills him.
No, I could have sworn the way I remembered it.
Well, maybe it was then. Maybe I just didn't see it.
But he does say kill the spare.
Yeah.
So it had to have been Pettigrew.
Okay, that's right. Because I misremembered it. Because I remembered it a lot funnier.
Yeah.
I remember it like they resurrected him. Or I remember like Cedric was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Just pop, fucking shot him. And that's how I remember it.
And then like again, so the Triwizard Cup was like, I'm sure like you say they spend a lot of chapters dealing with our shit. The movie is just way too fast with those things for me to really feel any sense of like danger with them. Like I never really felt like they say it, but I never once felt like anyone's life was in danger. The urgency was just not there in any of the games.
Yeah. They botched the maze most of all, honestly.
Yeah. Well, because I remember like the dragon one I got, that one was cool. Like that one was cool, and how Harry barely won that one. That was good. That was a good one.
He didn't even win it. He came in last place.
Yeah.
He just barely like finished the fucking game.
Yeah. That's another thing is that like the movie kind of really quickly forgot that Harry never wanted to be in it, because suddenly everyone was talking like they were giving him shit for not doing the egg. He's like, "You're not even fucking trying, are you?" Like he didn't
Of
want
course
to.
not.
Yeah, like he didn't want to be. Like all he had to do was not make it.
Yeah,
Like, you
and,
know,
like, what was it? Or like there was plenty of times he could have just not, like in the fucking maze.
yeah.
Like they said, oh, just shoot a flare if you don't want to do it. I would have done that shit immediately.
In fact, had he done that, Voldemort would have never gotten him.
And they would have just fucking shot Cedric Diggory.
I mean, no,
and his body would have never been found.
That was another thing. I didn't care about Cedric. They didn't like make him nice enough for me to care.
He was supposed to be like.
I feel bad for
such a
Cho.
sweetheart.
I feel bad for Cho
Cho.
Chang because she liked Cedric Diggory.
She
Yeah.
loved him.
Well, that was the thing. As far as we saw, the only thing Cedric Diggory ever did for Harry, there was 3 things that Cedric did to Harry or interact with him.
Yeah.
He fucking didn't do shit about the buttons that were getting passed
He
around.
specifically said, "I asked my friends not to wear them, and they won't listen."
So I mean, like, okay,
So
like,
basically nothing.
basically nothing.
He's a sweet little doormat man.
He's a Hufflepuff. I mean, come on.
2, he jacked Harry's girl.
Okay, Harry didn't make a move until after Cedric asked her out, and they're not even in the same house or the same grade. So there's no way he knew that Harry had a thing for Cho.
Still jacked his girl, man. Well, I mean, how did that look? Because like the way the thing was even shot.
So basically, 17-year-old also the 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Cho was a year older than Harry.
Okay, so she's 15.
Okay. Because like that's not even how the thing. Because like the whole fucking wizard prom was shot in such an awkward, undramatic, like dire thing. So there was not a single thing of it that felt like teenage or you know what? There wasn't any of this degree. It was undramatic.
Yeah.
Like the wizard prom was significantly more dramatic than it needed to be. So like every shot was of somebody sad. So like the way the shots like were in tone and the tone and the framing, like they were like it looked like it was shitty that Cedric was there with Cho. Yeah. Like in my opinion.
They were trying to do the thing where it's like everybody's having a good time except for Ron and Harry and the dates because of Ron and Harry.
Yeah.
Like freaking Neville and Ginny getting it on, and Hagrid's got a date, and Mad-Eye Moody's even chilling out.
Yeah.
Like,
I love Alistair Moody.
Yeah.
That guy's the shit.
Hell yeah.
That guy was cool as fuck.
and he comes back.
Yeah, that's good. I loved him. I love the way they demonstrated the curse spells, the unforgivable spells.
Yeah.
The way they had, like, I like the way they had that hideous creature doing it. They really highlighted how fucking unforgivable they are by, like, you almost feel bad for that hideous spider creature.
Yeah.
Because of how unforgivable they are. So I thought that was really good. But my least favorite thing about Goblet of Fire is how the movie stops to do Wizard Prom.
Yeah.
Like fucking Harry Potter becomes Degrassi for a good 30 minutes. And like all they needed to do was have like Dumbledore be like, fucking something might happen at the dance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like
Well, the whole point of the dance was to establish like 2 very important character dynamics, and those were that to like once and for all clear up that Ron is very into Hermione. Like they hinted at it, but that was like the straight up like he's into her, and she doesn't want anything to do with him because he's an immature piece of shit. Yeah. And then the fact to establish Victor Crumb and Hermione's relationship. But
they did nothing with that in the movie. Like I get what you mean with Ron, which they could have accomplished in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They didn't need a whole ass like they didn't need him fainting over the floor or like whatever the fuck her name was. Was it?
Yeah.
Delacour.
Yeah.
Fleur has such an awesome character arc, and I know that it doesn't fit the plot of the movies at all. But if they're gonna pick some random ass fluff to put in the movies, I would have preferred Fleur's character arc over Wizard Prom. Any day.
Yeah. Or anything like again like there was like exactly 2 to 3 scenes where the fact that Hermione and Victor Crumb were together mattered.
Yeah.
Which was the prom, which you could have cut. There was the fact that she was underwater. Again, not super necessary because like they needed more recognizable characters down there for stakes. They had fucking Lacour's sister down. Yeah, who the fuck like?
It's her baby sister.
And then like Hermione mentions once, like, oh, he watches me study, which is weird. Like,
it established that like he's really into her. But they don't really know how to talk to each other because they don't have a lot in common.
So really, all Victor Crumb, like he wasn't even that important in the cup, in the tournament. Victor Crumb existed. Like biggest contribution to that movie is that he was the butt of a sex joke. That's literally all Victor Crumb really did. Like that's it. Objectively in that movie, all Victor Crumb did was segue into a sex joke.
He won He almost won the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah, he's a professional.
He is a professional seeker and like the best in the world, arguably.
Well, all that really did was set him up as a threat. So like I didn't really see that.
I loved his characterization though, and I mean like I only know to pay attention in the movie to look for it because I have the book as background.
Yeah.
And I guess not, but like the fact that like even Moody explicitly says that Crumb's head is filled with sawdust, but Karkaroff's is not, and that Crumb is a really nice guy who's a really strong athlete, but he doesn't have any sort of like cleverness or nefarious plans. He's just there to do whatever his headmaster tells him to do.
Yeah, like he wants to fucking win that win that tournament. And get that glory.
Yeah, like he's dumb or like he's simple.
Yeah, he's honestly just a down to earth athlete guy he's a threat physically, and he's a threat because he's got Karkaroff behind him. But at the end of the day, he just wants to win things. He's got an honest athlete's heart.
Wants to win, wants to have sex with women.
It's true. He wanted to have sex with Hermione.
But
that was all of that was not clear in the books.
They tried. They tried.
But yeah, Ron. Like, speaking of what, Ron was super whiny in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like he's
it's funny because like Harry's just like, oh, I'm sorry that you're feeling bad when I'm fucking
I might die
risking my life for no reason.
Like it wasn't even like a substantial thing in the movie where like I didn't put my name in the Goblet of Fire, like you liar, and then like he continued playing the games for no reason, and then they're like, oh, well I guess you didn't. Like, what indication did you get that he didn't other than it's dangerous, which you knew? Like
fuck man, could you like wait? So I get like it's like a thing of like you have to do this, but who made the rules? Like you couldn't have just been like, okay, here's a fucking baby dragon for fucking Harry to fight.
Yeah. Also, I loved how nobody in the Triwizard Cup really earned anything. Well, because like everyone was just passing around secrets and shit. They all knew going in they were gonna fight dragons. Fucking like Harry, like literally people held his hand throughout the entire second trial. They even like after he got the hint, fucking Neville just had to tell him. And apparently it was worse in the book.
Yeah, because they literally shoved that shit down his throat the day of. like he was about to go over without anything, and then Dobby just shoved that shit in his mouth.
And then like the last one again, apparently they massively did the maze a disservice, because all they really did apparently like you said they had like fucking memories come appear to them.
Yeah, like the maze was super foreboding because like. They told them ahead of time it was going to be a maze. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then, like, he shows up, and it's this miles-long, super dark, super thick thing. And they're like, go in, and he gets in there, and he gets lost. He gets disoriented, and he doesn't know which way is up or down or around or left or right.
And the maze is continuously changing.
It's continuously changing and shifting. So he gets out his wand, and he places it on the palm of his hand, and he uses, like, a compass spell to try and find his way through the thing. And like he has to pass a sphinx and answer riddles. The maze turns upside down at one point and he feels like he's hanging off the earth. Like he gets attacked by a Dementor, a Boggart, like a pit of some sort of disgusting leechy type animals.
And then in the movie he just kind of walked around for a bit.
Yeah.
Then he
found the biggest thing is that when Crumb gets like bewitched by it turns out to be Barty Crouch Jr. disguised as Moody. To kill, like to egg him on further, and that's terrifying because he sees someone who could have been an ally and helped him through. And it's just I don't know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, so it was such a nothing event.
Yeah.
But then like the resurrection of Voldemort, like that was cool.
My favorite part is when that reporter comes.
I like the reporter.
And they pulled Scooby-Doo 2, where they make it seem like he thinks Coolsville sucks.
He was straight up lying.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. But I'm very invested in the story of Harry Potter. That's what I want to end on. Is that like as much as I didn't like Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire was okay, I'm very invested and I want to see it through. I love these characters and I love the world and I want to see it to the end. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. So this is the first one. We talked about these first 4 movies for a good hour and a half. It was really fun just talking shop with you guys.
Yes, I mean. You don't for most of my life you haven't cared about Harry Potter. Yeah. So we never just had to shoot the shit about it.
Yeah, so as soon as I watch them all, we will do 5 through 8.
Yeah.
So until next time, I'm Josh. We got
Yo, so your boy Benya.
then you got.
I'm Kylie.
Yeah, you can again if you want to follow me and Benya on Letterboxd, see what movies we're watching and reviewing. The links in the description below. If you want to follow our YouTube channels, I'm gonna try to upload more to that. Benya will hopefully upload it all.
Yep.
Follow Kylie on Instagram, and I'll see you guys later.
I'm gonna fucking kill him.